Oh, Bilbo, all your wild adventures. Man, I wish my life was like that. Oh, geez, didn't see you there, but welcome back. Just kidding, I did see you there because I set up the camera and hit the play button. You know, I did it. But welcome back, and have a topic today about reading. Do you love reading? You know, it seems like in such an increasingly digital era, fewer and fewer people, including myself, are reading. It seems like I'd rather just watch a YouTube video or a podcast as I'm driving to get caught up. And I'm not saying those are bad, but I think that there is value in old school books and in reading in general. And it seems like now there's a little bit of a resurgence of people wanting to get away from the digital and back to the analog, back to reading and reclaiming that time to learn. I didn't like reading most of my life. Elementary through middle school is probably when I read the most. I was reading Goosebumps and maybe a couple of them a year during summer reading. My little sister and I would sit under the trees and lawn chairs and we'd read for an afternoon. But that was about it. And then in high school, I would really only read that required summer reading. But personal time, very few books are being read. Not much changed when I went to college. I didn't do really any reading for pleasure. All of my reading was really for classes and schoolwork. Upon graduating college, not much changed from there. I would read maybe one book a year. And usually that was like a self-help or like a personal development book or a spiritual book on a topic I wanted to grow in, on top of reading my Bible. But that was about it. Nothing really just to read or to read a story. But about a year or so ago, something changed. I realized that I wanted to learn more. I realized there was so much in life I just didn't know, and I wanted to learn. And looking back, my dad always taught me that the biggest thing about college was it teaches you how to learn. So I was reflecting on that, how I did learn. I did well in college, got good grades. How did I do that? And reading was the main reason. In some form or another, I was reading. I was reading textbooks. I was reading slides. I was reading peer-reviewed articles. I was reading research articles. I was reading. So I realized if I wanted to learn more, I was just simply going to have to read about what I wanted to learn about. The second thing that happened is I got inspired. There was a YouTube video by a guy named Max, and I'll put a link to his video in the description for this video. But I watched it and it was about reading. And I was enthralled by like the 10, 13 minute video, however long it was. And he was going around to different libraries throughout the world that are just beautiful. But he also quantified how much he was reading. So I'll do it for me as an example. So I'm 30 years old, I turned 31 in October. And the average lifespan in America is about 78 and a half years. So let's just make the math easy. Let's just say I got 50 more years to live. Tomorrow's not promised, but we'll see. That means I've got about 50 years left, which means about 50 books if I read, one book a year. That sounds like a lot, but when I saw it visualized, it really, really changed my perspective. So what do you think 50 books looks like? Is it a bookshelf, a bookcase? I didn't know. And when I saw it, it changed me. And this is about 50 books. This is what 50 books looks like. Kind of underwhelming, isn't it? A little anticlimactic. When I saw this, it really changed my perspective that for the rest of my life, this is all that I will learn. He went on to explain that if he just read about 30 minutes a day, on average, obviously depending on the length of the book, that would be about 2 books a month. So I would go from reading 50 books for the rest of my life to 720 books if I was able to just read 30 minutes a day. That seemed realistic. That seemed doable. Just 30 minutes a day? 30 minutes less of scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Facebook, 30 minutes left of YouTube videos. I could do that. I can incorporate that into my sleep routine, my nighttime routine to help me go to sleep at night. Or waking up in the morning and reading something I like. That seemed doable. Now this was about a year ago or so, and I have not read 30 minutes every single day, but I have really increased my reading. And I've read way more, and it really has changed my life. And the last thing that really changed my perspective on reading and helped me fall in love with it is that I had control. I could read what I wanted to read. My whole life, everything I read was dictated by what I was told to read, for classes, for projects, and very little was what I wanted to read. That changed my life. If I wanted to learn about rocket science, I could. If I wanted to learn how to survive in the wilderness, I could read about that. If I wanted to read about a dystopian society, I could do that. And that was so freeing for me. And tied into that in the same vein is that there's no shame in not finishing a book if I don't enjoy it. I grew up thinking if I started a book, I had to finish it, no matter how miserable or boring or how many times I fell asleep while reading it. And that's just false. If I'm going to read, let's just say 750 books for the rest of my life, I don't have any time to waste on books I don't like. Every book I read, I should enjoy. And if after the first little bit, it doesn't catch my interest, on to the next. There are too many fish in the sea for me to get caught up on something I'm not enjoying. So that has helped me exponentially. So what books do you like to read? What has been your most favorite book recently or of all time? Why do you read? Or why don't you read? Leave a comment down below. I'd really love to hear your perspective on that. Do me a favor, if you like this video or like any of my other videos, consider liking them. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Consider subscribing to the channel and definitely comment below to give me your thoughts, your perspectives on this. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get back to hanging out with Bilbo.